whistle beeps when kids are in trouble. So I do.
Kids love LazyTown. Magnús's vision has now become a global sensation with LazyTown books, board games, music and videos, toys and apparel, radio stations, outdoor activities, healthy food and beverages, and thousands of live events.
Children, time for school!
It is important to know your clients, but I've never wanted to rely on focus groups. I want to know firsthand how kids think and move all around the world. I have personally been to hundreds of schools and kindergartens. Just the other day, I was with 1,000 kids in Bentonville.
It's much easier to get them active and outside playing when they're mimicking the LazyTown characters.
Go, go! Get it together! No one's lazy in LazyTown. Hey, hey! Sing it together! No one's lazy in LazyTown.
My mission was to never compromise when it comes to kids. So, I built state-of-the-art, digital high-definition studio where I produce my LazyTown TV series. The LazyTown show has a perfect 50-50 gender split. That's because the show means different things to different audiences. For example, for girls, it's a music show. For boys, it's an action show. And for parents, it is a tool to raise healthy kids.
Yes! The LazyTown TV series is the fastest-selling kids show in history, reaching more than 90 nations in just 9 months and winning awards all over the world.
Brilliant. LazyTown.
Including the UK BAFTA, German Emmy, Icelandic ETA, and 2 Emmy nominations.
LazyTown is much more than a TV show. It's a lifestyle brand. And it's the only kids brand directly associated with sport. Good catch! We even have our own economy, the healthiest economy in the world. Wow!
Children are encouraged to deposit their allowances in the bank. While their money earns interest, they use LazyTown dollars to buy healthy products in stores participating in the LazyTown economy.
Saving, saving, saving? How annoying.
What I'm perhaps most proud of is our energy campaign.
When the kids get their energy book, they fill out a contract with their parents, promising to eat healthy for 30 days in exchange for having one wish granted. The book comes with stickers representing energy points from all the food groups. And for every item the kids have that day, they put the corresponding sticker in the book and gain energy points. They even get energy points for doing healthy activity. And by adding up all the energy points of the day, kids even develop their math skills.
When the energy campaign was running, we increased sales of fruit and vegetables by 22% in only 30 days. Let's make a difference. Let's change the world.
Jeg kan nesten garantere at når denne sesjonen er ferdig, så vil dere småjogge ut herfra med en gulrot i hånden. Planen mannen dere skal treffe nå er en inspirasjonskilde og en energibombe av de helt sjeldne. Vi har prøvd å få han her i 2 år, vi er kjempeglade for å ha han her. Og hvis dere fortsatt føler den samme energien i morgen, husk å ta med barna på barneløp på Torgallmenningen klokken 12. Da kan de treffe selveste Sportakus. Ta varmt imot Magnús Scheving.
Takk skal du ha. Takk. Hei. Jeg forstår norsk, så if det er en spørsmål på norsk, I forstår. But I cannot speak Norwegian, so I'm going to do it in English. Is that okay? Basically, I'm too small to stand behind this. You will not see me, so I'm going to walk around a lot. Is that okay too? So you're going to be like in a tennis match, like I can be over there and over here. What I'm trying to do with this lecture, I'm going to go through a little bit about the challenges, what I face when you do something like what I've done. And both from the challenges that I'm actually facing, even here in Norway, at the moment when you want to go into schools, what actually happens and all that. And I really want to raise that question a little bit because it's really important. Basically, where I come from a country of Iceland. I don't know if you know it. It's somewhere there. It's like I live in a very small town who's there. And it was only 500 people actually live in this town. There was basically nothing to do. There was basically nothing. And so the only thing you could do basically was practice, and then practice again and again and again. So because I think if you want to be good at something, you basically have to practice again and again. So the only movement we're going to do all day, can you do this for me? Do this for me, try it, yes. It's the only exercise you're going to do all day. So and with the other hand, make a set like this. Set, like sorrow. And try to move the other arm at the same time. It's very difficult. It's not because you're not very good at it. It's because you haven't practiced. Basically, that's the question. So if I would come here tomorrow, you would easily do this. So I believe if you really want to be good at something, you have to do it like 10,000 hours. You should read a book called Outliers. That's actually a fantastic book. Who actually speak about this case is that I think you have to do more than 10,000 hours to be good at something. That takes about 10 years. Something like that. And so LazyTown actually started long time ago. It started actually 20 years ago. So if for me it's a little bit like this, what is a great idea? If I would come to somebody like a group like here, or a TV station, or a producer, or anybody that I need to have an idea and say, here's a great idea, ba-bam! How do you know it's a great idea? How would you know this is a great idea? If the Beatles would come and say, ta-da, let it be, is that a great idea? How do you know that? In my mind, some people would say that great idea when you don't have to work a lot. You can make an enormous amount of money. Some people say if you can change the world, or somebody if you're doing something that your heart desire, etc., etc. In my mind, great ideas when anything is possible, and that means that you're not limited to an idea. That's what I think is a great idea. So someone bring me an idea. I always look at it, okay, what kind of potential does it have? For creative and everything. If you think about kids' entertainment is actually like this. If this is maximum possibilities, financially, you can get out of kids' programming. Or from the idea. So you would say, okay, let's have a theme park, let's have TV, let's have movie, let's have DVDs and music. This is the kids' world. So what I found out is that most of brands, nearly every single brand I've seen, they logo slap anything, whatever they need to do, even if it has nothing to do with it. Like, let's say Tarzan, was a great concept. Tarzan can barely sell clothing because he's naked, but he still do it. So sometimes you actually see, why would SpongeBob be actually on carrots? Because he doesn't even eat carrots, or etc., etc. So the challenge here, what I was looking at, is that every single product for kids, every single entertainment, every single one have been on chocolate, fast food, every single one. And the reason why this is because, for example, let's say that we ban commercial for kids. Let's say we do that. I don't think kids should be exposed to commercial, personally. But let's say that you would ban commercial for kids. What would happen is that kids' TV cannot buy any TV programs for kids. It means that we would end up only with government TV programs, and that's it. And there is nobody who only want to watch that, because kids should have choices like everybody else. So the challenge here is this. Let's say you get 100 krona for a primetime TV. From a daytime TV, you get 50. For kids, you get 30. For kids junior, you would get 0. Why? Why do you get 0? In Holland, they want you to pay to be on the channel. In United States, there is like they want you to pay to be in some channels. So for kids TV, and any producer who have ever done a kids TV, they know this. LazyTown cost $1 million to make an episode. In some countries, we get $400 for an episode. That's not even enough for the coffee for Robbie Rotten. So what happened? What do? They want you to sell all this because they say you can sell it from licensing. That's where you should get your money. So I didn't believe, why do I need, if I want to do a great TV show for kids, why do I need to sell all this? Why do I need to do that? And that was the challenge. How can I really enter this market without necessarily put LazyTown on something that it was not necessary to be on? That was the challenge here. And if you think about it, name me any kids concept. Any kids concept. Any kids concept. Bob the Builder has nothing to do with sport. Have nothing to do with health and beauty. Any other? Teletubbies, nothing to do with sports, nothing to do with health and beauty, nothing to do with household. So basically, most kids' concepts are so limited, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. So LazyTown was the only concept who was associated with sport, for example. And if you think about it, why isn't no concept associated with sport for kids? Kids love sports. Why isn't it? And I found out later that most writers, they don't do any sports. They do yoga, maybe. So they don't do any sports. And sport people are too stupid to write. so it would never cross. So basically, how do I start this? So 20 years ago, when I was thinking about LazyTown, you need to, first when you have a startup, you create an idea. So you say, oh, I have an idea. The next time you have to finance the idea. So you have an idea, you're like, I'm an idea guy. And suddenly, you're not idea guy anymore. You're a finance guy. You need to go and ask for money. And you say, I have this great idea, but I need the money. So suddenly you need to change yourself or hire somebody. And if you hire a financial guy to do it, he's going to steal your company. So you with the idea, you get 3%, and he get the rest. So you can't do that. So you don't trust anybody. So you say, oh, okay, I'm going to do it. So you go and ask for money. So suddenly you're a finance guy. And then you need to produce it. So suddenly you're a producer. But you're not a producer. You are still an idea guy. So suddenly you have been a banker. You have been an idea guy. Suddenly you're a producer. Then you need to distribute it. You need to go sell it around the world. So suddenly you are selling. If you send it to somebody else and you say, can you sell this for me? That's not going to happen. Because you're never going to see the money. You're never going to see the money. Because they're going to say, oh, I went into marketing. I sent this guy to Tromsø and he's selling there. And the hotel costs 60,000 krona and that's where the money goes for. So you cannot do it. So then you do licensing maybe. Or like LazyTown is a lifestyle brand. So this is the chain you need to go through. So where's the level of difficulties? Okay, let's say it's 1 million people who get great ideas. There's 1 million people I've met who have great ideas. I mean, there are 1,000. Then you're going to execute it. Maybe 1,000 people can execute it. Maybe, out of 1 million. You're going to put it on TV. Do you know how many decision makers on TV is in the world? There are 100 for kids. There are actually 98. There is no business in the whole wide world, not single one, who have less decision makers than actually kids TV. There's only one industry who have it. That's OPEC. And that's oil. Okay? So basically, there's nothing else. There's no other industry in the whole world who have less decision makers. That means there's maybe 2 or 3 in each country. So what does it mean? It either means that everything kids are going to watch in Norway or Uruguay or United States, there are 2 people or 3 who are going to choose what that is for next 7 years. So think about when you are 7 years old. 0 to 7, this is the most important time in your life. This is when you learn how to walk and talk and behave and do all kind of stuff. And even your body triples the weight, etc., etc. It should be the only time in your history, in your lifetime, that you should do that. So this is the time we call it the 7 golden years. So it's critical, actually, what you are watching. Because you spend an enormous amount of time watching TV or entertainment, what kids do. That's a fact. And we know it's a fact. So if somebody would choose for me everything I'm going to watch on TV next 7 years, and there will be 2 people, would I be happy? I'm not really sure. And then somebody would come up and say, okay, let's make a station like TV2 not possible to do any kids shows. Let's take that away from them so they cannot do what they want to do, and then it would just be NRK. What does that mean? That would mean there's only one person who can choose the kids' TV. What kind of 2009 is this? So the problem here is this: there's no spokesman for kids. There's not single spokesman for kids. Is it politicians? No. Why not? Because they're not interested in it. Because kids, they can say, oh, ban it, because it sounds nice. Let's ban that. Let's don't do that. But they are going to get the vote in 4 years' time. So that's why they're not interested in health for kids. Because they're not. Because kids are going to be healthy. If you're going to give kids something to eat healthy when they're 7, they're going to be healthy when they're 27. That's way too late. I'm already out of office. So I'm not even interested in it. So what it is, the challenge here, is that either you need fantastic people to actually choose your program for kids. People who really understand what they can do. And a lot of them are fantastic. I met a lot of them. One is in the room here even. Bergen here from Norway. She was the second country in the world who chose LazyTown. Not because he chose LazyTown, she's fantastic. She's fantastic because she actually really looked upon what would kid like, what is it that I need to do, what is my responsibility, etc., etc., etc. But there's only 100 people who have decision for kids' TV. That means you can get 100 no's. If you get 2 no's in Norway, you're not allowed to be on TV. In Iceland, there's 1. In the United States, there are 4. Is it any other business that you can have 4 no's and you're out of business? I don't know any other business. I don't know one single one, actually. Said OPEC. There's 1,000 people who can put you on a T-shirt, and there's very few brands that can be evergreen. So let's say that 20 years ago, I was in my room, in my home. I was thinking about golf. Let's say that I'm going to explain golf to you. I get 100 experts and I explain golf to you. I write everything down about golf. Every single thing about golf. And then I would come and say, okay, let's write it down. And then I'm finished. This is how you hold the club, this is how you shoot, etc., etc. And put it on TV so everybody can have a critical mass so they can know what golf is. And then I sell licensing. Golf hats, golf clothing. I understand this. This is a business. You explain something, you show it, get critical mass, and you sell licensing. I totally understand it. Okay? So I was in my home 22 years ago, and I think like, okay, if I change golf into health, and I would get 100 experts and say, what is a healthy person? And you are being a doctor. What is a healthy person? He would say this, it's about this, this, and this. And then another doctor would say, it's this, this, and this. Another doctor would say, it's this, this, and this. So it's endless. Because there's a different health for somebody who's 4 years old and somebody who's 16 years old or somebody who's 45 years old, and it's totally different. It's even different health maybe for somebody in Norway and Iceland, etc., etc. So it's totally different how we look at health. So health is a little bit like if we have to write down everything was funny. Let's write everything was funny. What is funny? We would start to write it, and we couldn't write it because it would be like endless. Or love. What is love? Let's write down everything about love. Or what is freedom? If you write the word freedom, what is freedom? You eliminate the word. Not everything is possible. That's the problem. So you have something you cannot explain. But the problem here is that, or the challenge is that you actually know health. You would understand health. If I do it wrong, you would say, wait a minute, that is wrong. So people understand love, but they cannot explain it. They know what it is, but they cannot explain it. So you think, let's put it on TV. But you can't put it on TV. Kids would never watch program about health. So 20 years ago, I was thinking like, how can I do that? Because kids are never going to watch it. Plus, that's what I'm going to sell. So you have, because they say, we're not going to pay you for the program, because kids' TV should sell licensing. So you're thinking, how can I really, without selling chocolate, how can I really make a children's program who had about health? I'm not allowed to show it, not allowed to say it, and that's what I'm going to sell. So you have something, you can't explain it, you're not allowed to say it, and that's what I'm going to try to sell. So I'm like, how do you do this? So, how do we do it? Like this. That's what it is. So, the background, 16 years ago, there was no role model health for kids. There was Popeye, Skippy. He eats spinach, but he smokes and hits people. Poof, So, is that a role model you really want for your kids? Are you going to show it to kids all the time, and then see he hits somebody when he's 7, like, poosh, eat spinach. Would you say, good. Dad, I'm actually watching it. This is what I'm watching every single day. So you say, maybe not. So you're thinking about the challenge, can education about healthy lifestyle be entertaining? Because I'm not really sure. I have never really seen entertainment about health. Health is pretty boring, yeah? Basically. And you can't say to a kid, if you eat this apple, you're going to be healthy when you are 21. Kids think, are you kidding me? I'm never going to be 21. There's not even a Saturday, nearly. Next week, they don't even know it's the next week. So there's 2 types of stories for kids today on the entertainment for kids. There is emotionally driven story, Astrid Lindgren, BBC stories, more like a BBC. It's like, you're not invited to my birthday, like, teamwork, like, those kind of stories. Nothing wrong with them, fantastic stories. Kids-driven stories is that kids who have the arc in the story, they overcome their whatever they're doing, and then ta-da, it's a kids-driven stories. Then there is a superhero and a villain, and that's always violence, all the time. There's always violence. Nothing wrong with it, but it's always violence. It's like Tom and Jerry, Pokemon, Power Rangers. Boys love it. Boys, girls. Boom, 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 boom. Boys, girls, boys, girls. So what happened is that either it's a girls program or it's a boy program. So if you think about kids' TV, it's normally girls or boys. It's not really, it doesn't really happen. It's for both. Jim Henson had Muppet Show. Well, for both, but it haven't really happened. And the problem with Jim Henson, he couldn't rerun the shows. He had 480 shows because you can see on the haircut, this is 1972. So you just can't sell it. You can see it on the clothing. So you need to have it timeless as well. So the program have to be totally timeless. So we wanted to try to write this for both. So you have a lot of action, but also something that will be kids-driven stories. We tried 160 writers, and they couldn't do it. 160. Most writers in LA, they just had a dog. They never had a kid, for example. And so they had no idea. So we couldn't really get it. So in the end, we needed to do it by ourselves. And the shelf is so small. When you put education in, fun fall off. When you put action in, non-violence fall off. So it was really, really difficult to do. So if you want to have a lot of fun for kids, where's the educational value? I need the educational value. It's like, how do we do that without really? And when we said, kids, you should always eat vegetables, the fun just poof. And we're like, wait a minute, how can we do that again? So it was an enormous amount of challenge. And when you cannot explain something, can I have like A4 blad? And when you're gonna explain something, and that you cannot really explain, people don't really understand it. Let's say you have an idea and you have to come it across. You're a producer or you're somebody you cannot really tell the idea. I'm going to show you how difficult this is. You have a paper in front of you. Take this paper. It's a little test. Nobody's going to fail, actually. Hold the paper right like this. And you have to close your eyes. Basically, close your eyes. You have to do everything I tell you. I'm going to give you 5 things, 5 directions, okay? But you're not allowed to look. If you look, it's 200 push-ups, okay? Are you ready? Close your eyes, fold it in half. Turn it 180. Fold it to the left, in half. Rip the right corner off. Fold it in half. Turn it 380 and rip the center off. And then open it. Not single person has the same paper, not single one. Not even single one in the whole group has the same paper. And if you have a same paper, you should either get married or you should work together. The reason why this happened is not because that you were bad. It's because my information to you was wrong. It was not clear. So think about if you are telling like this movie is about this, or this program is about this, or your message is about this. It's very difficult when people don't understand it. Think about health, that you cannot even say it, but then you still need people to do what you need to do. That is the challenge. And I said, I'm going to spend 12 years to test this before I make it. So what I did is that we created LazyTown. I went around the world So I created Sportagus, who's a superhero, Crystal, who beeps when kids are in trouble, Robbie Rotten, who's a villain, and Stephanie, who's a girl, and those are the gang in LazyTown, okay? I'm not going to go through it so much. But you have 4,000, I went to 4,000 live events for more than 12 years to 52 different countries to test LazyTown. I tried to meet 1,000 to 15,000 kids a month. So I was in school yesterday, met 300 kids yesterday. I'm going to meet the kids again on Saturday for a marathon here in Bergen. So I was in Romania 4 days ago and met hundreds or thousands of kids in Romania, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm always doing it because I love it and because I basically think that it is possible to motivate kids to move. And so I found out 2 things about kids. They like to move, and they don't want to be talked down to. They don't want anybody to tell them, hi, now we're actually going to move. Kids, do you really want to move? Let's jump. They don't really want to do it. They just say, hey, kid, are you ready? Let's jump. That's what they want. Then they like to move. So if you say to a kid, let's go to a movies, they will say, yeah. If they don't move, there's something wrong. So I am a lot on an airplane, and I love when kids are running up and down on the airplanes. Because it's fantastic. How is a kid going to sit on an airplane? It's not possible. Run around, please, run, crazy. Stop this serving the food. So parents are exactly the same. Wherever you go around the world, there was a 7 issue that you're raising healthy kids. So if you have kids, this is the same issue in Tromsø, Norway, Uruguay, Bergen, Brønnøysund, wherever I went. It was exactly the same. It was, every parent wants the kids to be safe and educated, eat right, move healthy lifestyle, early to bed, follow rules, able to share things, not lie and cheat. Maybe clean the room. Maybe. That's it. So what is it? Those are the LazyTown characters. Okay? You remember when I talked about what is a healthy person? Healthy person in my mind is a person in balance. It's that you have choices. So if you are healthy, it's not about your size, it's not about how you look, it's not about anything of that. That's the bonus. It's about that you have choices. Sometimes you can maybe have hamburger, next time you can have salad. Sometimes you move a lot, sometimes you don't move a lot. That's what it should be. So kids should have choices to do different things. So in my mind, it's not about only eat vegetables all day long. It's not even close to that. Healthy is to be in the middle. So if I make a circle around those characters, this is a one healthy human being. You are Sportagus on your best day. When you wake up and say, I can do anything today, yeah, ta-da-da. Nobody want to be a superhero all day long. If you are married to a superhero, that must be horrible. To be with somebody who's always right. It must be like, I can't stand that person anymore. And so sometimes you're like Robbie Rotten. You're just like, I just can't do it today. I'm just like, Sometimes you're like Stephanie. You say, what about if I try that? What about if I try this? Sometimes you're like Stingy. It's like, he's about mine, mine, mine. You say, it's my country, mine, it's my parking place. Beep, 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 get out of my parking place. Beep, beep, it's my garden. Hey, get away, it's my... Sometimes you're like that. Sometimes you're just like Trixie. You want to follow rules, but you still want to break rules. When you raise kids, you want them to break rules. Women couldn't vote in some countries. So somebody stood up and said, wait a minute, that's a stupid rule. Let's change that rule. Of course we want someone who stand up and say that. Of course we want someone who fend kids and say now, okay, if we cannot not have programs on TV for kids, let's fix it. Instead of saying like, oh yeah, you cannot commercial to kids, there's no budget, okay, let's have it at 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's have it 5:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning. What kids wake up at 5 o'clock? You want your kids to wake up at 5 o'clock to watch TV? There's nobody who wants that. Doesn't make any sense. We need somebody who stands up and say, wait a minute. It's just a stupid rule, basically. And then it started in Iceland as a book. It was 1995, and it was all kind of things, radio station, 24 hours for kids. We even did a live show. And when we did our live show in Iceland, it was sold out for 4 years. And half of the country saw it. And when I was going to put it in the National Theatre, they said, you cannot put it in the National Theatre. This is the Mecca of art. You're not going to take it as a sport hall and change the Mecca of art into a sport hall. And I said, no, it's not about sports. It's about movement for kids. This is a theater. So I rented the next theater next door. I rented by myself. I washed all the costume by myself every single weekend because I didn't have the money to send it to a dry cleaning. 4 years, and it got more audience than both National Theatre of Iceland combined with all the shows together. 140,000 people. That's half of Iceland. Now today, we put the live show on. We sold more tickets than U2, the band, in Mexico City. Maybe Bono needs the mustache instead of the glasses. No. We broke the Metropolitan Opera in Mexico City as a record for mass selling. There is 63% of kids who watch the LazyTown live show. They want to be more healthy. 63%. That's the bonus. We never mention health in our program. We never really tell kids what to do. We have never told a kid they have to eat an apple. We have never told a kid they have to move more. We have never mentioned it once. So 63% of kids want to be more healthy as a bonus, as an entertainment. That is brilliant. I was very pleased with that. So we knew we had a solution. We said, let's take it outside. If you think about this is Iceland, this is Norway. There's only 7 ideas who have made it over to the United States for 2,000 years. So we said, how do we start? We start as a TV. So we went to 122 countries. We made 53 episodes, cost $1 million an episode, $42 million totally. We have 26 LazyTown new extra episodes, and LazyTown is the fastest sold TV show in history. It went to 96 countries. And to do this, we built a studio. I used to be a carpenter. I used to build houses. I wanted to be an architect. So I physically built this studio in 42 days inside by myself and 15 other guys, friends of mine. So we built this studio. It's one of the most high-tech studios in the world. The reason, because I don't know anything about technology, so I said to the guys, why don't you plug this into the flipper and into the dupper and this one like this? And I didn't even know about it. So what they did, the Key-Out Green Screen Live was the first one who we used Viper cameras. If you have seen the movie Benjamin Button, that's shot on the Viper cameras. The first movie shot on Viper cameras. Actually, when Brad Pitt go older and younger, I don't know if you've seen it. It's a fantastic cameras. It's a green screen studio. It's way over the board for kids, but we said we don't want to compromise when it comes to kids, so we just said, let's just go the whole way with it. Just make a program that we would never compromise when it comes to kids. And my staff is freaking out. Because I say, no, don't compromise when it comes to kids. Do it again, do it again, do it again. Practice, practice, practice. If you can't do that, practice, practice, practice. So again and again, because we didn't want to do it. So it's like a 5-star hotel, actually. Costume, Dolby, all kind of things, music, and even a gym. And steam bath. Here, we call it heaven, because for 4 years when I was doing LazyTown, I did 3,000 jumps a day. And you're getting a little bit older. You need to jump at 9 o'clock and then split at 2 o'clock. And when I finished at 12 o'clock at night, I could barely walk. I was like this. And so I made up here a steam bath. So most of the stories of LazyTown are built here in the steam bath, actually. So it's quite amazing, actually, because we were middle of the night, totally tired. Mission of LazyTown is very simple. We want to move kids, we want to move families, we want to move the world, physically and mentally. That's what we want to do. And the challenge is this: what are we up against? Kids are eating all the obesity rate, for example, in the world is huge. In Norway, it's 20%. Moms don't know what to buy. Market is total message. They say fat-free, they say sugar-free, but you cannot really trust it. And nobody understands it. I was supposed to be an expert. I was in the fitness industry. I don't really understand all those calories. It's just like it's like a nightmare to understand all this. It's too small. You can barely see it even. So all the competitors or our partners who is our ally or people who have been in the same business, they have been into every single product that's possible to make. And there's no integrity. So you don't really know, does that brand stand for health, or do I trust it, or is it, if it's on McDonald's there and certainly on carrots, is that good or bad? So here's where they get all the money from. This is where you get. So we said we don't want to do it. So we say more no than yes. My constant battle every single day is actually fighting this. In Bergen today, you don't see one product of LazyTown anywhere. Why? It's not because I couldn't sell it on a chocolate. I could easily do it on a chocolate. I could easily be on the fastest pizza here in Bergen, but you didn't want to do it. So there's 400 people obese in the world. There are going to be 700 million in 2015. 95% of England in 50 years are going to be obese. 95%. That means that the health system is going to collapse. And the health system is going to collapse. That means that health is only going to be for rich people. So we need to change it. I'm not going to sit down. There's more kids dying of obesity than accident, cancer combined in the world. So think about that. If you think about but we don't see it because it's not in our way. So this is a huge task for generations to come. There's 155 million kids. And so obesity is catastrophic, but there's hope. LazyTown is the only brand dedicated to kids' health. We say it as a statement. There is no other brand dedicated to kids' health. There's none. None on the planet. So if LazyTown now would go under, let's say that I'm not going to make it because I have 10 more years to run, I would say, before I would make the whole circle. So if I would not make it, that would mean that LazyTown, who spent all that time, all that money, all that effort, would not make it. What does that say? That would mean that there's no possibilities for a health program for kids on TV. Nobody else is going to try. Because they would say, if LazyTown didn't make it with all that effort, and that crazy guy in the costume going like maniac between places, that's not going to, then when we're not going to do it, that would be a sad news. So I'm not going to give up yet. I actually did a movie with Jackie Chan now in November, and he asked me to be the villain. So in The Spy Next Door, I'm the bad guy. It was actually fantastic to try that, to be a superhero and then a villain. So I could maybe be the Russian. I was a Russian villain, of course, because you have to say, I'm going to crush you. And so maybe I could be a bad guy in China, be the white guy that they beat up all the time, if I get out of job. But obesity of Iceland stopped climbing after going up for more than 10, 15 years. Obesity is like what is it called? Overvektig, yeah. It's correct, yeah. So overvekt, yeah. So it's what was going up. I've been up like this. Then suddenly I was in my home watching TV, and the health minister of Iceland come on the TV, and they asked him, obesity of Iceland is going down. Why is that? If I have to say one thing, that would be LazyTown. And I was in my home like, yes! I didn't believe it. Call all my friends. Did you see it? No, we didn't. Yes, he said it. I had to change the story maybe. I was doing a push-up watching TV. And I jumped up and said, yeah. But we called them and asked him, can you write it down? And that's what they did. So we got a letter from the health minister telling how much impact it has on the country. Basically how much. And then we actually got a letter from the president. And we were like, fantastic. So David Cameron asked me to come to England. And he asked me, can you make England healthy? And I said, okay. You can't talk about obesity. I don't think kids should be worried about the weight. Kids should not be worried about how they look. They should not be worried about what they eat. They should do it through play. They should do it through fun. Because kids know how to move. If I drop this, and I'm 35 years old, this is how I pick it up. When I'm 37, I would do this. I cannot do it anymore. If you're a kid, you pick it up like this. You have never seen a kid play outside. Dad, I'm playing. You don't really see it. The kids are just outside playing because they know how to move. So you don't need to teach kids how to move. You don't really need to teach them that. They already know it. We just need to keep them pure when they're 0 to 7. And we grown-ups have the responsibility to do that. So in this one, when I said to David Cameron, think about you're going to take England on a vacation. And you say, you're going to be bit by mosquitoes. You're going to be sunburned. You're going to be robbed. Do you want to go there? You're going to have the flu, the pig flu. No, you don't want to go there at all. So if you would say, we are going on this beach. This is the beach. That's where you want to go. You need to show. So I would say for Norway, what is the beach in health? Where is the beach? This is where we're taking Norway. Baba! Where is that? The only thing we get is that I saw somebody on the news yesterday. We have a campaign for kids. That I'm counting how much steps I can do. Each time when I move, I get a higher point. That's why I'm moving a lot now. So we have a campaign to go to morning. I explain it a little bit later. But and they want to ban. They don't want to do that. Kids can do it. There were 16,000 kids who signed up. They want to do it. They want to move. And now there's a politician who says, "No, I'm going to stop it." Are you kidding me? So, where was he yesterday? In the school. I didn't see him in the school jumping with kids. I'm not seeing him on Saturday jumping with kids. So I'm going to wait for him actually to move my kids. Then my kids are going to die, basically. And I'm not going to take that chance. What he can do, he can change what we should do. That people in schools, teachers, should have the highest salary in the world. They should be the highest paid people in Norway. People who are in kindergarten schools get the highest paid in Norway. Not bankers. Kids who are actually in kindergarten schools should get the highest pay. So we get the best people for a group who camp kids from 0 to 7 to give them the best education, the best how they talk, how they treat them and everything. That's what it should be. If you're a politician, you should focus on that. And if you're really a politician, you should also focus, in my mind, focus on that to give kids more time to move in schools. Have you been to a school recently? Have you seen how much space kids can move? They can move 3 times a week, in some classes 2 times a week. 2 times a week, 40 minutes. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's like my sex life. It's less. It's actually 18 minutes, maybe, combined over the year. But okay, so basically, LazyTown, we want to move the world. So when you move a world or you move a country, what you need to do, you need to have a TV so people can see it. You need to have a live show so kids can experience it. You need to have governments who give a stamp that this is good, something like authority, because you need to reach to kids. They can do a campaign to lower cost on fruit and vegetables. They can lower taxes on campaigns, etc., etc. You need suppliers, because if there's nothing to buy, we need like products. If I would send you out now to a store, and I send you to a biggest retailer in Norway, and I would say, you have 10 minutes to buy something healthy for your kids. Go! You would be like, okay, fruit and vegetables, okay, bum. What's next? Yogurt? No, sugar in it. No. You don't know what to buy. If I would say, buy something unhealthy, you have 10 minutes. You can do it blindfolded. There's something wrong. So there's nothing there. So you need the retailer, but you need the PR. PR is very important. And what amazed me about PR around the world is like how different PR around the world is. Like PR in England is actually fantastic, for example. And when PR in some other countries, like, I'm not going to say which one, but it's actually just one-sided, just on the one side. There's nothing else. There's no double story. That's what I love when I read, I think it was a Bergen or something. There was a story about LazyTown, and then also from the politician talk about it. It was brilliant, because you need the balance. Otherwise, it's not healthy. It needs both stories. It's fantastic. So consumer are actually getting smarter. Health is on the rise. So it's a huge topic. For example, in the Time magazine, they actually said, Cookie Monsters, your days are numbered. That's Sesame Street. Why do they say that? And I was like, why do they say that? Cookie Monster is a fantastic program. But what it is that Cookie Monster is trying to be healthy. And the DNA of Cookie Monster, you eat cookies. You can't change it halfway. So the LazyTown have always been about health from the start, and it's really important. So what's next? What we're working on LazyTown, we're working on the LazyTown movie. We did live show, we're working on Sporticus number 1. I have a Crystal who's number 10, so we're going to find Sporticus number 1. So I wrote that story before I made Sporticus number 10. Because you remember when I said anything is possible? So I put Sporticus number 10. So I can maybe find in Norway Sporticus number 11. So there could be a live show in Norway. Who is Sporticus number 11? Then I'm going to, Sporticus number 8 could be the most cool, and that's, if I would get enough money in the end, I'm going to make a program who's Sporticus number 8, who is the coolest superhero in a wheelchair that you've ever seen in your life. It's a guy who can do anything in a wheelchair. He go underwater, up, he can do all the tricks. And so, because I have an enormous amount of friends who are actually in wheelchair, who believe they are Sporticus. And I had a show with 50 million people watching in telethon in Mexico City with Televisa, that I had 2 guys with me, that they asked me, there's 2 guys who love your show, can they be with you on the stage? I said, yes, of course. And I showed up, and they were in a wheelchair. So I was thinking, how can I be in 50 million people and those 2 guys in a wheelchair? And we're going to move. But they believed they were Sporticus. They really believe that we can do it. So I don't remember if you know the Spartacus. You know this. They said, I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus. I'm Spartacus, a famous movie. So I said, I'm Sporticus. They said, I'm Sporticus. I'm Sporticus. And then they really did it. It was fantastic. And we're doing the LazyTown Club. We're going to give kids superhero tasks every single day. So you get a package from LazyTown every month. So 2 parents who say, now you're going to notice your kids are going to drink more water this month. And then we have a superhero task that kids can go on the website. They get superhero task to drink more water. They do all kind of tricks. And then next time they have to hold a balloon and do all kind of tricks with the balloon. Brush their teeth 20 times up and 20 times down. And we're working on LazyTown Restaurant, who is like a fantastic restaurant for kids and facilities. Hotel concept, theme parks. We are now Guatemala, who is this one, who is actually a campaign that kids can get like a steps, how much the step, and combine. They're going to write down every single day what they did, and they are going to give it to the teacher, and in the end, they're going to go to Måne to combine together. That's 18.7 kilometers per kid, and they're going to see every time when they move a lot. And 16,000 kids signed up. There were 12,000 yesterday, and now there are 16,000, 400 classes here in Bergen. It's a fantastic concept for kids. We have done it before. I said in Iceland, for example, I said kids really want to run mini marathon, but you can't do it in a park. You have to do it on the street, because if the kids run in a park, it's like they're in a park. But in a street, the cars are not there. So the kids are like, the cars are not there. It's totally different. And when I explained that to the police, they said, no, we can't close the traffic. Why not? Yeah, you can close the traffic for real marathon, for grown-ups. Yeah, but that's different. What is the difference? I don't get it. So I fought it. I went to 400 meetings to convince them about it. There came 16,000 kids. That's every single kid in Iceland. There are 4,000 kids in our age group. That means every kid from 3 years old to 6 years old came, every single one. We did it in England, and we're doing it in the Boston Marathon. We're going to do it here on Saturday. It's just that's why I thank you for the opportunity to be here on Saturday to do a little bit here. It's going to be mini of this. Maybe 200, maybe 1,000, I have no idea. But we're going to try it. It's going to be in the rain. And that's really difficult because Sporticus cannot be out in the rain. He's a superhero who cannot be in the rain. Because the mustache is going to go down like this. So it's going to be really funny, okay? So we say LazyTown is 380. It's not 360. It's a little bit more. It has been a fantastic journey for me because I've learned a lot. If I've learned something, that was to give up. Never really give up. And when people tell you it's not possible, you should keep going. Any questions? Spørsmål? Yes. Why is Robbie Rotten a hero? Why? Yes. I think everybody have good thing in them and little bad thing in them. So I think Robbie Rotten appeals to that part of you that sometimes you are a little bit Robbie Rotten. And Robbie Rotten is an extremely active guy. He really do a lot to try to stop you. And I'm thinking about the politician I actually saw yesterday. He's going to take an enormous amount of effort to stop this campaign. So it's fantastic. I would hope that he would do the same effort to move kids. That would be fantastic. But so you will have Robbie Rotten everywhere. So there's a lot of people who love Robbie Rotten, actually. Any other question? Yes? How could I convince buyers to buy my series? I actually came in and I did jumps, flips. I have a trailer that I show them. I talked about the vision, what I want to do. And And what would you say? You bought it. I don't know. What?
I didn't have to be convinced. I think it was fantastic. So I just went to Iceland, you remember?
Yes.
And we signed a deal. And it has been a big success.
I think if you did,
One of the most big success we had.
I think what it is that if you have done your homework and you come with a good idea, people will buy it normally. You need to do your homework. I mean, I think so. I think LazyTown did their homework. I think that's and I did a little like press kit and trailer, etc., etc.
Did you actually do the distribution yourself?
Excuse me.
The distribution of the cereal?
Yeah, we did it by ourselves. And we went to all those places and did it by ourselves, absolutely. And people always said to me, send it to me. And I said, no, I'm not going to send it to you. Either you invite you to me or I come to you. I never sent them the packets, never, ever. Because then they get the packets, because like me, I'm really, really busy. If somebody sent me anything, it'd go through a gatekeeper. So this guy's going to see it and that guy, and I never see it. It's maybe a brilliant idea. And so I went by myself, yeah. Some meetings took 4 years, like in Australia. It took me 4 years to get the meeting. So every third month, I asked for a meeting. It took 4 years.
Did you attend like MIP-TV or MIP-Com Junior, or did you just
But
travel?
I travel around, basically. And I went to MIP-TV as well, but I traveled around, basically, because in MIP-TV, it's a short meetings. You can maybe introduce people, you can talk to them, but then you need to really go. I want to see the offices, and I went to 420 meetings, I think, who was my competitors. I went to all of them to get all the information. So they gave me all the information, because they said, he's from Iceland, they don't even have TV, do they? It's like, they're snowing all the time, so they gave me an enormous amount of information, and I went back before I made it. So I would say, I would try to have a personal contact. I would try. If you have a possibility to do it, then I would. And I'm not that healthy guy because I never had a break over a weekend in my life. I don't remember any time I have a break. I've never had 2 days in a row that I have a vacation. I don't really remember it. So I always worked a lot, and I used that money for traveling. So I worked for 4 years to make a fund for me to go and travel, basically. So I had the money.
How many people work with?
There are 163 people in production, and there's now it's like 40 to 45 people working in the company. We have offices in New York and London. And we are in 122 countries, 500 million homes, and 26 languages.
Why the name LazyTown?
Fantastic question. Why is it LazyTown? Because we asked kids, what do you think the name should be for LazyTown? If they were Happy Town or Smiling Town, nobody would watch it. Come to Smiling Town, everybody's healthy, ha, ha, ha. You don't want to go there. So we asked kids, what is it, LazyTown? We want to know how they go. How are they doing? Why is Stingy so stingy? And why is Trixie not following rules? So how is Sportagus going to try to do this? So that's why it's called LazyTown. It's a benefit of a doubt, basically. That's what it is. It's not good for products. If I really want to be in the kids' business for the products, I have called it something else. You don't want to buy a water called LazyTown. I mean, if you're a grandmother, my kids is already lazy. I'm not going to buy a lazy water. So if you really want to be in the business to really sell, you should not do LazyTown for products. LazyTown is not driven by money, have never been driven by money. LazyTown have been driven by passion. And I think when you do something good, and you believe you're doing something good, you get the money. I believe so. And the reason why I'm wearing the costume, because when you see the kids, like yesterday, you can't fake it. You just can't fake it. They look in your eyes. Sportagus, do you know? Look at my frukost. This is my frukost. This is my matpakke here. There are druer and do. They can see it in your eyes immediately if you mean it or not. So if you're doing a kids program, you don't really mean it. Don't do it. You can do it with everything else. I'm making a movie now called London Calling. It's a horror movie. Not a horror movie, but it's like a sexual thriller. And I'm making that on the site. And I don't even mean that. I'm not going to kill anybody. But that's another thing. So I can do that, but I cannot really do kids' TV. You have to mean it. Am I finished? Yes. Last question? A little bit higher? You said?
You said said you had the ideas, and then you were the banker, and then the producer.
Yeah.
But did you do everything alone, or did you have help? Did you trust your guts, or how did you know that this was going to work?
Yeah. Basically, what you need to do, you need to believe it. If you're going to be successful, you have to be willing to die for it. That's number one. The second thing is that you have to get good people around you. There's nobody successful alone. There's nobody. And normally it's a woman. I'm really sorry, but that's the case. And in my case, it was my wife. She was actually the... I say sometimes as an entrepreneur, you need to be a carpenter to know if the roof comes before later and then the foundation. And you need to be a sport guy to tell everybody when everybody's going to give up, keep on going. And the second thing, you have to sleep with accountant. Because you need to get all the numbers at Saturday nights. It's not sexy, but you need to get the numbers. And in my case, it was my wife, so I was very lucky. But basically what you need to do is that you should make a plan. So if you're making a plan, you put the milestones. You go to a bank and you say, this is what I'm going to do next 12 years, and this is what I'm going to do next 6 months and 8 months, and then you do that, and you come back and say, okay, can I borrow 100 krona? They give you 100 krona, then you come back and ask for this and this. For example, in my case, I did a live show. It cost a lot of money, and I said, I need 20,000 norska krona or something. And the guy said, okay, you sign your name, and we're going to take your house if you don't pay. And I said, I'm not going to sign my name because that would be stupid. But then you're going to take my house. And they said, we are a bank. What do you think? And I said, I don't want to sign my name because if you do a business with that guy who's willing to sacrifice his family for an idea, it will be a stupid guy. I'm going to pay you back, but I'm not going to sign. And they said yes. Because no one else have said it to them. So they said, well, okay, let's try that. So then I asked for $42 million, and they didn't ask dollars, and they didn't ask me to sign my house because my house wasn't even worth like 5 krona. So it's like actually, so I didn't need to sign my name there either. So I think it's like there's always a way to do it. There's always a way. So make a milestone, make a little presentation, travel, meet people, and if people tell you it's not possible, say it's not true. Because we call it the Hudson River. Hudson River. You have seen the Hudson River when they landed in the Hudson River, the plane? There was no possibility to Hudson River 1 year ago. So the pilot was like, okay, what can I do? Second. What can I do? It's not possible. Hudson River. Wham, bam. Successful. So I always say to my team, where's the Hudson River? Find me the Hudson River. So if you say it's not possible, that is not true. Everything is possible. Okay. They're going to throw me out. They're going to shoot me. They have the gun. I thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Thank you.